Yo, yo. Hey, Richie Dubs. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Looking for Richie Dubs. Oh, let me just. Brody's got to move. He woke up on the wrong side of the name tag this morning. Ah, he's fine. It's totally all right. Your friend coming in to join you up until, well, a little bit past the hour today because Richie Dubs, it's Friday. And you know what that means. Yabba dabba do time. It's all right. Time to slide down that dinosaur's tail. Get out of the rock quarry. It's, hope you got your deck sleeved up and ready to go for Friday night. Don't just bring a friend to F&M. Bring a friend to Brodys. Send them over to the live stream. It's fine. Saturday morning cartoons with Brody be coming up tomorrow, and we haven't done a bottom 10 in a while. We're really just going to get started here, nice and easy for you folks today. Yesterday, we were asking the trivia question to anybody tuning in on the channel. What was the first card in the game of Magic the Gathering that allowed a player to search for lands? And that card is land tax. For any of you who didn't get it, yeah, land tax was an inspiration for a lot of cards that allowed you to search up lands going forward in the game. But land tax felt great back in the day. Playing white, one mana and a land tax, good to go. Anybody remember that card? Richie Dubs, no doubt. All right, all right. Let me just get a couple of sips in this morning. I'm going to run down the movers and shakers list with you folks here today. Let's just see what we can do. I got some funnies for you folks today. Yesterday, let's check this out. Uh, let's do it. Oh, I guess I hope I can make you laugh here, folks. Yesterday we give me a second here. It's funny. I gotta put this up on the screen for you. Where are we here? This guy. Yesterday. All right. Who were we? We were looking at this guy yesterday. Oh gosh. Let's just, Brody, move over. It's early. You got to get this Trazin up on the screen for the anybody who's watching. I had to do it. I couldn't not. Dual Brain said I could. I don't know all the reasons why I had to alter this card. Trazin, the Infinite. All I could see yesterday when we're doing this live stream is like a clown. Did we get it? Did we get it? Yeah, we did. There we go. Good morning, folks. Trazin and I, Trazzy Wise, the clown. Uh, this is all I could see yesterday when we were talking about this card. It kept making me laugh. What a distraction. Like, with only a couple of strokes of the red and white pen, the blue pen, three balloons later, this this legendary creature Necron becomes a three balloon carrying 3/3 that you don't want at your birthday party. Oh, I'd love to see that in paper. Sorry, I couldn't. Sorry, got the best of me there yesterday, Trazin. I couldn't contain myself. Let's leave that up on the screen for anybody tuning in. Looks like Watsy staff now, right? Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. Maybe Brody will have to just move over, Brody. Move over, Brody. Hope you guys are having a wicked Friday, 'cause Friday is the day I get things my way. We got to look. Let's take a look at Watsy stock here. We got to get the charts going, the movers and shakers, and hey, we probably got. Brody better get busy because he's probably got some news. Let's start over here. Let's see if we got anything new to read for you folks. Yeah, we do. All right, all right, all right. This makes it for an exciting show. Hooray, hooray. Richie Dubs, you're in for it today, buds. Yeah. Okay. Morning Magic Stocks with Brody. Anybody want to hit me? The chat is up. Leave me a chat in the chat box if you want me to check any cards, if there's anything on your mind, anything you've been curious about, forgot about, haven't been watching, and you want the D to check it out today on Morning Magic Stocks price check and a lookout. Let's do it. We got the talk of the town, some new weekly winners for you folks. November 18th, 2022. Cool. I'm going to bring this stream to you. The fans, the amazing fans, all of 166 of you fans of Magic the Gathering that love the game as much as I do, coming to tune in on Brody's channel in the morning and watch the MTG stocks. All right, there's so much to cover. So get out from the covers and start your Friday. Join me over here, Richie Dubs. In observance of the 30th anniversary, we tanked their stock 30%. Watsy, probably. Aw! Okay, Watsy stock. Where are we at this morning? Hasbro stock. Refresh. Refreshes the taste of Watsy stock. We're up $2.45. Back to where it was the day before yesterday. That's right. Yesterday is the day that it was down another 2 or 3%. It is down from $63.41 over 5 days. $68 down $10 over 1 month. On the year it's down from $100. So it's like 42% down on the year. On an even stock going back 5 years, we haven't seen a dipperoo like this since 2020. Yeah, it was on sale. So yeah, if you're gonna be like watching videos and spreading fear and saying players are angry, are players really angry? Did anybody lose any money? Only if you sold cards did you lose money. You don't really lose until you sell. I know a lot of people who are happy. They're just like, yay-hoo, pre-2020 prices are coming back. So we're gonna, like, if you need a safe place to just sit down on a soft cushion and relax and watch these prices drift a little farther down and to the right, and you want to eyeball up something for the collection, something you've had your eye on, or something maybe you've been missing. Well, there's going to be some opportunities coming up for you folks, and we're going to try. We're stoked. We're stoked for you folks to try to get a little bit of fun back into the collection at reduced prices. So we're down just another couple of points today on Hasbro stock. Let's see. Let's see how far it goes. Like I say, how do you catch a falling knife? You could stand under it. You could. You really could. You could like try and give it one of these. Ah. Or you could just let it hit the ground, bang around, jangle around, and wait for it to stop moving and just walk over and pick it up. So Trazen, the meme card, the Pennywise the Clown. Oh god, one more look at that for you folks. And then let's head over to the talk of the town, the weekly winners. All right, who's writing articles for us this morning? We got to give them props. Thanks for the article. Let's have a little sip of coffee. Check the chat, and we're gonna get right into this. A little bit of news. Gaming Bob, how you doing, buds? Gaming Bob, oh my gosh, Nordy man, it's great to see you this morning. It's great to see all you guys. Morning, Magic, the Gathering stocks and price check with Brody. We're gonna run down the weekly winners for anybody who's driving. Get to work safe. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Look out. Be kind to each other. That's the name of the game. Let's have a little fun when we do it. People would be advised to do some introspection. Understand we are all in a recession, have to behave accordingly. Many argue it is cheaper to get into Magic right now than it has been in years, right? Like, holy moly. And why does Brody like the bottom 10? Well, I'll tell you what. Which cards do you think you're going to get up faster? when things turn around? Good question. If you joined us yesterday, trivia question was, which card in the game of Magic allowed you to search your library for lands? That was land tax. So let's run down the weekly winners. The Brothers War set's been released on Arena and will come in paper soon as well. In Commander, we see some effects of this upcoming set, and more notably, the Commander part of this release. By this week, we also managed to find a spike that looks like it has something to do with the anticipation of a new deck in Modern. Oh, and Legacy is also showing up with a new card and sees some play in Azorius and Jeskai decks there. Pretty varied week, and those are usually my favorite. Love it when a person starts the sentence with "and." It always throws me off. So apparently there's anticipation of a new deck here. Shape Anew, a sorcery card with a little mirror boy on the front of it. Triumph of Saint Catherine from the Warhammer 40k set, and Mirrodin Besieged, the actual card. Mirrodin Besieged from some Horizons from Modern something. Masters Z Modern Horizons Z something. Okay, let's check it out. Let's look a little deeper into these cards. Stock update, just like every week. Uh, these guys want to bring us a little bit to talk about. So let's read it. And who we got to give? Let's give kudos at the beginning. Who we got? Got Arjun, been playing Magic since the Ice Age and has all mostly played the Legacy format. 10 years ago, we founded MTG Socks because he and his friends wanted to buy Magic singles at the time, the right time to play with. All right, so this article is brought to you by Arjun, a 10-year Magic player. The fella who founded Magic the Gathering stock. So let's see what Arjun's got to say about Shape Anew. Should have some pretty interesting. This thing looks like it's going up 841%, up to a new high. Could it be all time of the Shape Anew card? It's got to be. $841. This card went up tremendously. Shape Anew is a sorcery for 1 blue and 3. It says that the controller of target artifact sacrifices it, then reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal an artifact card. Can somebody say just about Tinker? Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle all the other cards revealed this way into the library. You do get the information out of the deck. Let's have some coffee. Only a few weeks ago, we discussed Indomitable Creativity. Ah, yes, the Indomitable. That has a similar effect, just like cards like Transmogrify and Polymorph. These cards are usually used to cheat out something you're not supposed to play with yet, and with your available mana. Shape Anew is no different, but only means for artifacts. The Brohams War is already released on Arena, but still needs a bit of time to appear in paper. However, we do know exactly which cards are in there and that there is a strong artifact theme. Also, was no real surprise when the set was announced and we knew it was largely revolved around Urza and Mishra. With renewed love and attention for artifacts, people can use Shape Anew for trash for treasure and try and sneak out a card like Portal to Phyrexia. Let's see the Portal. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures at the beginning of your upkeep. Put target creature on top of the from your graveyard and the battlefield under your control. It's Phyrexia in addition to other types. After 5,000 years, the nightmare returned. All right, so that's a hell of a card for 9 mana, Mythic Power. Let's keep going. So far, the card they likely went up because of the speculators anticipating the card got good. There's been some chatter in the Shape Anew could become a modern deck now, printing with Portal Phyrexia. I'll tell you, the time people have not waited around to get their hands on some copies, and also Portal to Phyrexia ended up high on the interest list. This card went up last night for the same reason. From the Brohams War. Okay, number 2. Okay, we like it. What do you guys think about this card? Shape Anew, the new tech this week. Going up $4 if you got them, grab them out of the collection if you're not playing it. Trade them in. I mean, shoot, this might. You think it's going to go higher? I don't know. If you had 30 dozen copies in your collection there, this might be a time to trade it in on some buy lists. I love it when these cards. I love watching these cards and seeing what happens. people are mad about not making money from the game, not mad at the game. Yeah, like okay, like Brody uses these two words interchangeably, and they are used interchangeably throughout the game of Magic. Price and value. So let's talk value. Value is what a card does for you. It has nothing to do with cost or what you paid for the card. The value of the card is what the card does in the game. For example, a soul ring, it taps for 2 mana. All right. It costs so much to buy it in paper. But if it's combined with another card that makes it better, like say all of a sudden tap for 3 mana, or have the ability to untap it and do it again, that increases the value of the card. And I'll give you an example of this. The perfect example, and if any of you guys want to know what I'm talking about, say you have a collection. You got a collection of Magic cards, all right? And your collection's worth $100. Fair enough. Let's just put a nice round number on it. Gaming Bob's got $100 in Magic cards. So here's what we do. This is a perfect example of price versus value. So they are different. And when people start throwing the terms together, like a word sandwich in let's say a finance video talking about cards, it is confusing and it also makes it seem like they don't know what they're talking about. The perfect example is this. Bob's got $100 in Magic cards. Fine. He's priced them all out and like snapshot in time, that's what he's got. Now you go to the store and Bob buys 1 pack of Magic cards. Let's, for simplicity's sake, let's say it's a $5 pack of cards. Great. That pack of cards costs $5. So Bob opens the pack, right, to see what he got, and he opens the pack. So now, like, he's up to like $105 collection before he opens the pack. Now he opens the pack of Magic cards. Boom, hits a $20 card in there. He's like, wow, this is a new set, by the way. So now like he adds everything up and he's got like $25 in price of Magic cards. But wait, it's a new set that came out. So what we don't realize is Bob had like 25 copies of this shape anew in his collection that, were worth $1 and are now worth 4. So because that new set was printed and he opened card the portal, the Phyrexian portal that works well with it, now this shape anew card has more value because it's more useful because something in the game has changed. It has had an increase in value because it does more for us now. And that affects the price quite often. When there's a reduction in value and card gets worse, it pushes the price down. And when there's an increase in value, it generally pushes the price up. Price versus value. And that's the best way to describe it in the game, as far as I can see. Mishra's Workshop taps for 3 mana. The minute a 3 mana artifact gets printed that's better than the last one, there's more value and the price changes. Most people are going to need a sip of coffee for joining us for this morning magic stocks. Let's let some folks get in here. 6 people. I had so much fun yesterday with you folks. Thank you so much. Let's burn down the comments section real quick for everybody. Get another sip in our cup. It's Friday. It's yabba dabba do time. It's time to slide down that dinosaur's tail. You got one more day to make it to the weekend, so be safe, drive safe, and get to where you're going. I'm mad watching my peers get fleeced. That's right. Brody's a little chapped too. The Richie Dubs is chapped enough for all of us on this one. My folks getting fleeced, exactly. I missed the negative, Bob. Morning, Coach. Coach is in the house. I miss the positive stock value. I do. Everyone loves in a bull market, but I'll tell you right now, this is a time. What a time to be alive, boys. Like we get to sit back and watch this and go, "All right, what have I always wanted?" Like let's step onto the lot and test drive like, just about anything. Let's take a look, run down the chat. Then we'll hit back to the movers and shakers list. Believe Watsy had lots of problems, still has a few. I'm not shy about calling them out on it, even to their face. So I did. So Bob got some one-on-one time with Watsy staff in Vegas. Yeah, he did, and Bob's got some pretty sound advice, and it's usually based in logic, and sometimes it's pointy. So yeah, people tend to, he's a nice guy, good to listen to. Did not sell you those duels in 2017, but duels are up from 2017. Please tell me they're game pieces, not a retirement fund. I ain't mad, bro, but greed never looks attractive. Please tell me they're game pieces. It's interesting. They are game pieces. It's, you don't start the game with all the game pieces. Greed craft. Yeah, totally, right? Totally. Yeah, we're gonna see we're gonna see what happens as far as running a business. Like folks say, oh, we're in a this or we're in a recession or the prices are moving. I just think part of the frustration is we all think a business should kind of be run like a household, and when it's not, it just becomes like an adult daycare. And they leave the Slurpee machine running, and there's a pile of Slurpee all over the floor. Be kind to each other in the chat. Brody's running down. MTG is not investable. It's a game. There are ways to make money from it. You have to have timely buys and sells. They work pretty hard to do it. Yeah, and time in the market is different than timing the market, right? You gotta think like this is kind of a fun show to do because we get to look at these prices, and some people don't look at them every day. They see this list every Friday, the movers and shakers, and they go, the markets are volatile. The reserve list wasn't a promise, not what the reserve list wasn't a promise not to reprint. I'll have to catch that video. I'm sure you're not being hyperbolic, and I really meant it about checking the video. I'm sure we make good arguments. Yeah, morning, Ed. Richie, DJ Longhair, he's in the house. I had to work late, so I didn't get onto the round table last night. Specking random cards for less than 50-cent gains. Conspicuous Snoop at $1.50. Nimble Extractionist. All right, let's keep going. The talk of the town is Shape and New. A card that's like Tinker, blue, it flips cards off the top of the deck. Into play, you get to get an artifact. Next up, number 2 this week. Triumph of St. Catherine. This card's up 200 points. Yeah, okay. If you can believe it, right? When did Brody start noticing a change in the game? Yeah, when standard cards started to be $40 and $60, like Carnage Tyrant. Here's a card that's from the 40K set. It's $19.94. It's up 200%. I don't know. We'll see if anybody keeps playing it, if it has any life after standard. We do see quite some we do see quite some cards in the universes beyond Warhammer 40,000 going up a lot, as this commander product proves to have a lot of powerful cards which some are harder to reprint since they're bound to the Warhammer universe. This week we see Triumph of St. Catherine going up over 200 points. For white and 4, you get a 5/5 lifelinker. Now, a white and 4 is a lot of mana, but fortunately, you can miracle it for 1 and white. It's miracle. Not bad. When this creature dies, you have to exile it, and you have to shuffle it along with the top 6 cards of your library, and then put it back, setting it up for a return. When Triumph of the St. Catherine dies, exile it and the top 6 cards of your library face down in a pile. If you do, shuffle that pile and put it back on top. Huh. So the Triumph of the St. Catherine tries to set itself up for a miracle to do it again and again. It can be found in the Forces of Imperium deck. Let's see what that is. The Forces, of course, of course. It's not showing me. Forces Imperium. Oh, Commander Precon. It can be found in a Precon deck, and it sees some play in decks around cards from this deck as well, like Inquisitor, Greyfax, Marnus Calgar. Commander, however, has not the reason for a spike of this card. It seems that this card is being experimented with in Legacy, in Azorius Miracles Control, and Jeskai Stoneblade decks. No, we don't like Stoneblade decks anyway. So being able to get out a 5/5 lifelinker for only 2 mana at the end of your opponent's turn seems pretty good. Not too pretty bad. It's okay. I suppose it's okay. So some play testing with this, some speculation around whether or not it's going to be good enough for Legacy. That's a pretty tall claim right there, right? It really is. Is it going to be good enough for Legacy? There's only the word in the law. Heard the rumor that at the beginning of the new year we get 4 different 40K tags. The word is the reserve list definition are very clear. Rosie Boy is the one who said something about the spirit of the reserve list. He is not Hasbro Watsy. His opinion on the reserve list matters not. Don't doubt it, DJ. They had a successful product. If you guys enjoy the chat, just be cool to one another when you're hanging out on the chat. I really like the discussion. I get to read the comments. And everybody tuning in on the channel this morning, please check it out. There's a different opinions all over, and everyone's welcome here. Mirrodin Besieged. Okay, Modern Horizons. Let's have a little sip of coffee. This boy's gone up 80 points. An enchantment card. Let's before we do this, for anybody tuning in, yesterday I said I was going to alter the Trazen card. This is for you, Ed, the dual brain. Brody did it. He got out the he got out the paint pen, the pencil, and we got the Trazen. Uh, Trazen Pennywise alt art for you folks this morning, 5 a.m. Get up with Brody and talk some stocks. Check out the movers and shakers list, the talk of the town. Oh no, we're good, Bob. We're totally good. Just a reminder, everyone's just getting their day going. It's a good way to bump into folks. Start your day off on the right foot. Just be happy, have something to look forward, and try to lighten the mood here this morning on Friday before you guys head out. If you're got your deck ready to go for Friday Night Magic, let me know where you're playing. Uh, Richie Dub's tough. Richie Dub's tough. Yeah, we got some solid folks joining us here. Appreciate the chat, the chatter. Let's check out this rare from Modern Horizons. The enchantment that costs 1 blue and 2. When it enters the battlefield, you get to choose either Mirren or Phyrexian. If you choose Mirren, then whenever you cast an artifact, create a 1/1 mirror. If you have chosen Phyrexian, then at the beginning of your end step, draw a card and discard. Loot. So you either loot or get a mirror. Then, if there are 15 or more artifact cards in your graveyard, target opponent loses the game. So win condition either way. The card's not new to Commander. It's seen play in decks like Kezit, the Flesh Sculptor, Silas Ren, Seeker Adept, for example, but it sees play in several types of decks that revolve around artifacts. This week, however, it seems to be moving because Commander and Brothers War. It seems to be a good upgrade in both Commander decks and is finding its way into new decks revolving around Urza Chief Artificer and Ashnod the Uncaring, the 4/5 Urza. And Ashnod, the Uncaring. She doesn't care. No, she doesn't. 1/4 Death Touch when you activate an ability of an artifact creature that isn't a mana ability. If one or more permanents were sacrificed to activate it, you may copy that ability. So it doesn't work with the altar. Bad, too bad. Keep going. Cheap pickups. I like this spot. This is always fun. Sahili Rai, she's bottomed out and moving up. This folks say it's a pickup. It worked with Cat Combo to give an instant win. It's kind of a boring win condition if you ask me, but look at the art on this card. Sahili Rai is a beautiful card. A 3 mana Planeswalker we saw for the first time coming out of the Kaladesh block. What a beautiful Planeswalker. +1, it might be a pickup right now. Beautiful price, beautiful card. Scroll Rack. Another beautiful card. Look at the art on this. Reaching for the scroll. What set have we got? Commander. Commander. Scroll rack tending down. Just under $14 in the Vesuvian Diplomacy. Scroll Rock. Anybody use it? 2 mana artifact, pay one and tap it. Exile any number of cards from your hand face down and put that many cards on top of your library into your hand. Then look at the exiled cards and put one on top. Put them on top of your library in any order. You get to mix things up off the top of your deck. So long as you have cards in your hand, it might be fun with a Gusta's Scepter, hiding cards, switching cards from your hand. Vesuvian Diplomacy, the enchantment for a blue and 3. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact creature you control, create a token as a copy of that artifact creature, except it's not legendary. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just checking up on the chat. A little chatter about the reserve list. Yeah, I mean, everybody's kind of read the Blogatog posts. There's been a few discussing it. Good conversation, right? A lot of different. Really want people to find their MTG happy, but the financial aspect seems to be making a lot of people unhappy currently. My advice is don't buy or sell much and focus on play. Yeah, like I mean, if you were playing Magic, you're still playing it. I like the idea where, some people are just gonna sit it out as far as like buying products directly from Wizards. I like to support the local game store. There's a lot of game stores that are hurting right now. And let me just like kind of let me play this back the way I think it happened because memories tend to change over time. But the last time they closed the reserve list or closed the buy list, excuse me, last time stores closed the buy list and said they weren't accepting any more cards for cash. That went on for a while. Players pushed back and like the price of cards went down. Players traded in their cards for credit and then the prices went down. Game stores suffered, had to sell their high-end cards to pay rent and players cleaned them out as sort of like a punishment to gluttonous types of behavior. Do we see the same thing happening here now? I could be, but only time will tell. There's lots of difference of opinions about reprints, but the game continues to play. I would say if you're some people just I don't know, want it's just calamity. It's just something that's going on in a world that doesn't affect them. But it could be this way for another year or two. We get to run down. So we get to give some thanks to Arjun, the Magic the Gathering founder of MTG Stocks, bringing us this article, Movers and Shakers this week. Pretty good. We got the Shape Anew, a neat card. If you're holding on to any of these, and it's not something you want to keep, good trade-in value here. I'm surprised this card's $20 and moving up. Whether or not it sees play in Legacy will be the question if it sticks around and goes straight to an eternal format. Cards that get printed and go straight to eternal, so long as they survive a ban, tend to do well in the long run. Excuse me. Let's have a sip of coffee. This morning, before we get to do what we wish and run down the list, the bakers, the takers, the shakers, the movers, the groovers, the subscribes, the likes, the helps, the shares, the what's, the wheres, and the notification bell. Thanks for all you folks for tuning in yesterday and again today. It's Friday, November 18th. We're going to run down this Morning Magic, the Gathering stocks and price check with Brody. Going down the movers and shakers list. Too many sets, too many different types of packs, too many much variants, too fast. I used to collect this from every set along the way. With special stuff like Zendikar Expeditions, now I skip set after set. You know what's crazy, Brain? Who do you gotta be to buy one of every product that comes out? Like you gotta be Papa Bezos or something. You gotta be like the Marshmallow Man. You gotta have Warbucks. So like it's like the tipping thing. It's like tipping. It's like this exhaustive generosity. After a while, you're like, you know what? Nobody gets a tip. Unless you're feeling tipsy. A little more than that, but yeah, that's the bottom line. Enjoy the thing. Think people are upset at the stewardship of the IP as well. That's my issue. It's being handled extremely poor. Hmm. I'm a reserve list fan. If you haven't noticed, Brody has been like since the reserve list came out, like here's the thing. I still have some cards that I had pre-reserve list. And then the reserve list came out. So like some people, and I mean, I'm not the only one, have been watching this reserve list for a long time. And if it's for nothing, why was it made in the first place? But I like watching the cards. And the reason it interests me to watch this movers and shakers list is like when you look at some of the card mechanics on the reserve list, and this is the part that I'm going to take this up. This is next level. If you look at the card mechanics on the reserve list cards, it gives you an idea when Watsy says, these aren't cards we want to have reprinted. Because at that time, I believe that the mechanics that were printed on those cards that they said they weren't going to reprint are give us an indication of the direction that they want to go with the gameplay long term. It's like saying, there's a road. We know there's a road, we know where it goes, but we don't want to go down that. Give you a clear cut example of that before I get to move on. This card right here from Homelands, Black Carriage, a horse card, $1.14, and it's right off the bottom end of the reserve list. A card no one cares about. But wait, the 4/4 trample for 2 black and 3 is a horse, it's a carriage, it's got some amazing text on it. The Baron's drivers are also driven from Chandler. Why is this card on the reserve list? Black Carriage doesn't untap during your untap step. Okay, here's the part that I think means something to us. 0, 2 colon. Sacrifice a creature to untap Black Carriage. Uses ability only during your upkeep. Alright, so Homeland's transitioning into like Mirage, Visions, sort of an era. This seemed like putting downsides on cards. We started experimenting with like we knew what the Power 9 was, then we decided we weren't going to get it again in reprints into Unlimited. Certain cards like Raging River or any of the Power. Then, because to even out the game, we got sort of downsides printed on cards. Phasing was one of those things. Like it's a downside. It's a downside disguised as an upside, except we don't have the upside yet. So this was a put on a card as a downside. Sack your creature, untap Black Carriage, but it doesn't say you can only do it once. So there's a million and one different enchantments you could put on this thing to tap it and do something, and then sack any creature during your upkeep. A token, a 1/1, a 0/1, a thrall, any number of tokens and do it again. Like Burning Anger. Here's a card that when the Baron is driving his black carriage, like the he must tap enchanted creature has tap deals is it's deals damage equal to its power to any target. So I think part of the reserve list is deciding when we have this mechanic 0 sack a creature to tap this creature. We're deciding to put this card on the reserve list, not because it's exceptionally great, exceptionally powerful, but we're making a clear cut decision as to a game mechanic that is blatantly busted and that we don't want to go down that road again. So it is sort of putting up a fence and saying, you may walk out into the middle of the field and not see any cows, but why is this fence here? It doesn't mean you should take it down. It means you should ask why was it built in the first place. So let's go down the movers and the shakers list this morning, starting with Savannah. Up $49. The dual lands, the unlimited ones, and like I've said it before, it's Eternal Weekend coming up. People are playing paper magic again. They're sleeving these things up. They want to get some tasty copies of these dual lands, these ABU dual lands, and we love them. They tend to move up in groups, the Savannah being one of the middle of the pack. It really is quite good. The Celestia card. It's up a little bit, and it's also up with another Celestia card, the Moat card. The original. Okay, I can't wait to get to that card. I really can. Forest Plains, this beauty with a white border is $698. Anybody tuning in new to Magic, these are like the card everybody needs for Commander. You need one. You really do. It's the subject. It's the butt end of many jokes and much grief to players and deck builders alike. The revised copy, it is $355. There's just no getting around it. We need these dual lands. Even if they print a better one, we're still gonna want a Savannah. If there's like a tap at a white or a green and gain a life, like put an upside on this card, people are still gonna want Savannah. So steady as she goes, the dual lands are always a card that seaplane commander Selesnya Depths. Cool. Of course, like two legacy decks. Like, I want to see this. What's this? What is this card? Naya Depths in Legacy. Neat. Oh, Minsk and Boo. Okay, so we're running it in Naya Depths in Legacy. Cool to see a Selesnya build, Mox Diamond, a lands build. I really like seeing that. Where's this Naya depths? Yes, where's the depths? Where are we here? Do we have the Bazooka Bog Dark Depths? Two Dark Depths. How are we taking the counters off it? Flagstones, Caracas, Plateaus, Sajiri Steppe, Wasteland. I don't know. I don't see it quite yet. But it's got Minsk and Boo, the timeless heroes. These two guys are. Ha ha ha. What a cool card. Pushing Savannah up onto the number one mover and shaker today, Friday, November 18th. Folks, let's just talk about this card. The Moat, the Moat. 1,650 bucks, right? 1,650 bucks for the card Moat. No non-flying creatures can't attack. The Legends rare, right? How does this make you feel? Some people say, it's just a piece of cardboard. But the purpose of any moat is to impede an attack. Some are filled with water, some are filled with thistles, some are filled with things best left unseen. Hmm, this card seems pretty good. Next event I can make, we need to do drinks. Purple drinks. I'm not disparaging card prices. I don't know if prices will move. We'll wait and see. Yes, we will wait and see. You can wait with me and wait and see over here on the channel, the Morning Magic the Gathering stocks and price check. I think the old cards are collectible. Not really sure how much the reserve list matters. Bob's giving me a thumbs up, some consensus there between Bob and myself. I love that comment, Coach. I've been saying that for years. Been slowly buying random old cards for a long time. I'd be happy to DJ, though I may just have talkie. We could sit and chat. No fear. Just worry myself bald. Oh, well, I'm going to turn the glare up for you folks today. Brody's got a little more face to wash than usual. I love to see the chats. For the folks tuning in later on today, the comments are greatly appreciated. We got the MTG team awesome in the house. The YouTube's champions, uh, Gaming Bob, DJ Longhair, Dual Brain, Coach, all the folks who want to talk at morning MTG stocks in the morning, and my friend Richie Dubs coming in this morning. I was hoping Benson would show up this morning, but if he's watching later, I really appreciate him for all the commentary, providing the odd card to look up. So here's a card. Let's talk Moat. Moat's on the movers and shakers. It's number two off the top. This is a card that got bought out, right? Bought out hard by the Berry guy, right? So this card's got like a lot of emotional. Come to my emotional rescue. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, the Moat. The moat. What are we gonna say about this card? It goes in the deck. I did get to meet Brian Wiseman. That's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. That was a good time. Moat's a card that heads into that deck. It sure is. It's founded in the deck. It's part of a control card. It's been bought out. Here's an example of a card that somebody wanted to just have all the copies of, right? So there's two sides to the argument. You've got the one group of people who think, I want to own all the moats, right? I'm going to buy them all. I'm going to have all the moats. So I'm going to buy all of them, right? Because, like, I think that would be a smart idea. Or any card. It could be that. Like, and I'm talking about like more moats than you need, right? Or more than just collecting a few of them, right? So then what happens? The cards get out of circulation, and the group forms another consensus saying, well, we need to print more cards. So then stuff happens where we reprint cards and we print more sets, and then they say, well, no matter what you do, we're going to push the price of things down by printing all kinds of other cards. So then person who buys all the moats, it may be upset because now the whole game is tanking, right? It goes both ways. So like there's extremes, right? If you go either way too far, it's just not healthy for the environment. Like not keeping cards in circulation and having them the minute moat becomes unavailable to players who want to play it, you're gonna see some squawking. But this card's $1,650. Let's find some decks that play it. Chromat. $1,190 for the Chromat deck. Alela, Artful Powerful. I like this Chromat guy. Oh yeah, the 5/5 for a Wooburg. It's got all kinds of text on Chromat. Look at this guy. Destroy target creature blocking or blocked by Chromat. Chromat gains flying, regenerate Chromat, gets 1/1 until end of turn, and put Chromat on top of its owner's library. This thing does absolutely everything. It's got all kinds. It's ready for Friday night. Are you ready for Friday night? Have you got your deck slaved up? Are you ready for some fun? Don't just bring a friend over to Magic. Bring a friend to Brodys. Tell them to check out the live stream. If you're checking Wizards stock price or cardboard paper prices, if you're looking to get your hands on some of these cards, if you always wanted a moat, like maybe you're watching this card, maybe you're buy listing, maybe now's the time to start eyeing up some of these singles with the game mechanics printed on them that were never printed again because you always wanted to play them in a deck like Brody does. That is another card like this card, Nether Void. Here's a card. Players can't cast spells. Whenever a player casts a spell, counter it unless they pay 3. Holy smokes, for a black and 3. It's an enchant world. These days, some wizards are finding that they have a little too much spell left at the end of their mana. That's right. And these days, players are finding that they have a little bit too much money left over at the end of the set release. So we're going to hit them up with a collector's version. For $1,111.49, the Nether Void is a Horseman card. Now, Dual Brain will know about this card. It's a card that's on the reserve list. It seems nuts. It's great in Commander. It's a card that you would want to play it if you saw it. Would you be willing to mortgage your house for it? I would hope not. It's played in a Braids, Arisen Nightmare, Zur the Enchanter, an enchantment build, and Tegred, the God of Fright, a prison card, a control card for black that does all kinds of amazing stuff and things. It might be a time to start trying to spot a copy of this. Now, as people who buy excessive amount of cards get, the say the moat character or somebody who buys out all the cards, what happens then is then people say, okay, well, can you create a market condition where, you're going to end up either trying to hold on to those cards or you're going to sell them back into the market, right? Braids Arisen Nightmare. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, planeswalker. If you do, grab your shoe and beat your opponent till they're black and blue. No. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type for it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. Whoa. All right. Let's just back up. The Nether Void, it's played in Braids, it's played in Zur. Of course it is. It's not $1,111. It probably is if you want a graded copy. Yes, it is. Yep. And if anybody's got one of these for sale that's graded, throw a shout out in the comment section below. Maybe we got somebody looking for one. $800. They got minty copies of the vendors for $900. Wow. Lots of these cards coming in, right? Stores are going to need money. if players aren't shopping there, they're gonna have to sell singles, right? What else are they gonna do? The other question about free play areas. Now, like, I'll tell you what, there was a gaming club that I used to go to, and it was a gaming club. It was just that. It was not a store, it was a club. And they have it figured out where to come into the club, if you're a club member, you got to pay a fee, a membership, and that's a kind of a good way to do it. Whether it's 20 bucks a month, you get a storage space or you get a table whenever you come in, you get free pop from the pop machine, whatever it is, or you get a discount on things. The whole concept of free play is great. It really is. But then you run, not everybody's there to play. Let's just put it that way. Some people don't want to play. They're there just because it's free. And then you end up not having tables for people who wouldn't mind paying a $2 drop in to keep the lights on and the heat running because there's no tables. So that's so they went with that model anyway. It was a membership you could pay for the month, or if you dropped in, it was like just a casual event, and you wanted to drop in, they charge you $2 to drop in. You could stay and play as long as you wanted. You could go and come back for the day, sign in, and you're good. And that really helps keep the place going. So I don't know what all stores do. Some have different ways of catering to customers. Some have certain days of the year. Of course, draft. I don't know if you play I think you did have to pay the drop-in fee to draft, $2. But regardless, it was another way of trying to stay afloat, regardless of what is going on specifically in the game. You can't really rely on any like new product line to keep your store going like you used to be able to, I think. You might leave here, Shendra. Should another take your place? Hell's Caretaker, $73. This is a great card. It's a horror. Really? So it doesn't bounce when we flip thing in the ice. Okay. Hell's Caretaker from Legends. Check it out. Sacrifice a creature, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. The original Reanimator card. The Reanimator creature. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. So this card, this 1/1, it's 4 mana. It's the original Reanimate card. It's playable in old school for sure. Like there's another fella on the channel that keeps giving me tips. He was in the chat yesterday. He'll come to me. Another old school player. But like when you look at cards from that perspective, there is an old school format. It gives you like another idea of like who might be using it. Why not? The card seems fun. It's also played in Commander. Willet, the Rock Cleaver. How cool. Willet the Rock Cleaver, zombie. Warrior. Whenever a zombie you control dies. If it didn't leave, if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. It can't block, and when it attacks, sack it at end of combat. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. So it's played with Willet. You can sack those little zombies to bring back your champions, your Azarex, your Thrabans, your Braids, your Cemetery Reapers, your Death Barons, your Diagraph Captains, your Colossus, and all your Fleshbag Marauders. Holy moly. Neat card played in conjunction with the Hell's Caretaker, and it's on the reserve. No, is it not? It's not. It's not on the reserve list. It's not. Okay, where is it seen? Yeah, Legends and Chronicles reprint. All right. So either of those you can play in old school. You can get yourself a Chronicles. It has the same art. Hell's Caretaker and a Masters 25, and then again a ninth. I don't know. Give me a comment. Which art do you folks like? Do you like this one from Sandra Everingham? Or do you like the one here from 25 or ninth edition? Let's check it out. Burning down the comments, 9 viewers. Benson, there's my man. Benson, what's up, Benson? Say hello in the chat to Benson, everybody. A fella who, like, I really enjoy having stopped by on the channel. Yes. Giving us a couple of cards, like, to look at, like the Blades of Velis Vels and the Headless Horseman and the Aisling Leprechaun. Just some cards that no one ever talks about, and then you read them and you go, what? card. Let's look at this card. This look at a card for Benson today. And if there's anything you wanna look up, Benson, hit me up in the comment section. We'll look up one card here, before we go. Um, s- Appreciate all you folks staying with me up until past the hour. I'm gonna be on for another few minutes. If there's anything you want to look up, but check out this card. This card's $1.24, and I think it's cool. I think that it could have some playability. Check it out. It's a fairy, right? It's a leprechaun. It's Quentin Hoover Ardens from 1994, and it's so beautiful the way it's illustrated with all the different shades of green. Summon fairy, one green. It's a leprechaun. All creatures that block or are blocked by a leprechaun become green creatures. Okay. Use counters to indicate the changed creatures. Cost to tap, maintain, or use a special ability if target creature remains entirely unchanged. Can I say there's a sword for this leprechaun? Somebody give this leprechaun a sword. That gives him pro green. Hi, I attack with my leprechaun, my sword carrying leprechaun. I block. Okay, you block, it's green. Now I slash, bash, and I move on to me pot of gold. What a cool card. And it's something, the card I haven't looked at in a long time. My man Benson bringing that up. Hit it up. You can find a way to turn your opponent's stuff green, then kill it with Perish. Ah, yes, Perish. Let's check this card out. Perish. Some more amazing tech here from my man Benson. Destroy all green creatures. It can't be generated. Yes. Happy Friday to all you folks. We got a couple more cards to just run down here on the movers and shakers list. Hell's Caretaker, a transmute artifact. Ooh, let's check it out. Transmute artifact. It's moving up. It's also on the reserve list. This is the one like with power artifact. They're usually travel kind of in the same price range, $300. Sack an artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact card. If the card is converted mana cost is less than or equal to the sacrifice artifact converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield. If it's greater, you may pay X, where X is the difference. If you do, put it onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it in its owner's graveyard, then shuffle. So you get to pitch something. It's like, but the mana cost has to. You can't trade up. You got to pay the same as if you could regular pay. So it's like early Tinker, but it's fair. It's fair Tinker. This is fair Tinker. Transmute artifact. It's uncommon. It's $300. It's Finker. It's played in, of course, it's played in Urza, Horde High Artificer, Mishra the Eminent One, and Shorakai the Genesis Engine. It's played in a lot of commander decks. And why shouldn't it be? It's on the reserve list. It's $325. Do we get it at the vendors? Six excellent. There's all kinds of copies available. You can probably find it locally or just wait for the prices to go lower. Huh? Just wait to go lower. Clockwork Beast. An uncommon? I don't know why this is seeing action today. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Look up demonic hordes. All right, we'll check that out. Barrel House. What's up, Barrel House? John, how you doing, my friend? Tell Riley I said, yo, the bro, the D, that is in the house doing morning magic stocks. Thanks for checking out. Living north of the wall, right? Hey, yeah, Mr. DJ. Benson's in the house. Could have made it easier entry point to the 30th edition, like way to buy a pack with a promo for an exorbitant price of 250, $1,000 tag, or like, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Also freezing. You're freezing. Yeah, it's cold. It's getting a little chilly. Okay, so let's check out the demonic hordes. Clockwork Beasts put 7/1/0 counters on the beasts. After it attacks or blocks a creature, discard a counter. During the untap phase, controller may buy back lost counters for a mana instead of untapping beast. This taps beast if it wasn't tapped already. So something that just puts counters back on itself if you want it to. Where's it getting played? No decks found. I'm sure with the Ozlith and something else, that would double the amount of counters that go on it, or proliferate some counters that go on it, or allow us to move some counters on it. The Clockwork Beast seems like we could. Somebody might want to abuse this poor little beast. Let's not let him. Let's buy him for $24 and save him. Regrowth. Oh, the original card. Like, this is the counterpart to Demonic Tutor, right? Black got Demonic Tutor and green got Regrowth. for a green and one, return any card from your graveyard to your hand. And then black got the tutor, which was like search your library for any card. Way better. But green's regrowth is still pretty good. For $20, it's a staple in commander builds that run green. If you get that one of that you need so bad back into your hand, it's important to be able to regrow it. Not on the reserve list, plenty of different versions of the card. Of course, the classic unlimited in white border is always going to be a classic. But speaking of demonic tutor, I want to go check out the demonic hordes. What can we get? Let's look at the revised copy. Pippity 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 paps, pippity paps, pippity 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 paps. This card's a demon. Okay, so it works with Liliana's contract. It's a 5/5. This was playable. When somebody played this, if you're playing against a black player and they put this down, you were like, no, it's so hard to deal with. As a 5/5, it can win you the game. It just beats you up. Tap, destroy one land. What? They printed that on a card? Look at these creepy little hordy boys, right? Beginning of your upkeep, unless you pay 3 black, demonic hordes becomes tapped, and you have to sacrifice the land of opponent's choice, created to destroy Dominaria. Demons can sometimes be bent to a more focused purpose. The demonic hordes is $8.54. It's on the reserve list. It really is, and it's a cheap pickup for less than $5. It's a card that's got a demon creature type on it. Deck's using it. Shatter Gang Brothers. Let's Let's leave it at that. And Saruf the Realm Eater, the gang of brothers, Shatter Gang brothers are playing it. Let's check it out. What are they shattering? Were they wrecking artifacts? What are these brothers up to? The Shatter Gang brothers. Uh, well, stuff's getting slow here. These Goblin Artificers. Wow. Legendary creature. A black and two sack a creature. Each player sacks a creature. A red and two sack an artifact. Each player sacks an artifact. A green and two sack an enchantment. Each player sacks an enchantment. Neat card. These boys are awesome. Holy smokes. So the Hordes is the one that beats up on lands. The Shattergang brothers do everything else. They get work done. There's a commander deck for you, DJ. Pretty friggin' awesome. The Sorceress Queen, we covered that card this week a couple of times. The black bordered version of this card, only one in existence. Like it's really friggin' good. It is. I really do like. Let's put it up for you folks here. Let's get that up on the. Let's get the Sorceress Queen up. And Mox Opal. We can't skip the Sorceress Queen. Transmutation. That's the card we gotta go with. Transmutation. Transmutation. So let's look this up. I missed this in the tech section yeah the other day because the way Magic the Gathering people's minds work. Some people immediately think about a certain format and what cards what'll work well with. You know what I you know what I was. You see what I am. Change me, Randall. Transmutation. One black and one until end of turn target creature's power and toughness are switched. Effects that alter or vice versa, the toughness are instead. Effects that alter power, alter toughness instead, and vice versa. So this card is like a cheap Legends common. It's like 64 cents, and it's the original switch the PT of a character. Holy smokes, 20 copies available, 28 cents. You know, very cheap card. Switch a switch a cartoons power and toughness to and make the Sorcerer's Queen effectively just an assassin. Nice call, Richie. I love the Angels. Coach probably flip Avison. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm at 7-Eleven. They have Pokemon. I almost got a pack for gifts and shiggles. Gifts and shiggles. Watch out for ice walkers, Brody. Yeah, man. Ice walkers. Watch out for them, right? Yeah, that's like crazy. Gotta go some time for the premiere. Yes. All right. Dual Brains having a premiere coming up. Make sure you head on over. I don't want to spend too much time on here this morning, more than I already have, because Brody's got to get on the road. He's got to saddle up the dog sled. He's got to mush those huskies. He's got to get a haircut and a few things. But before I go, I'm going to leave you with this. How does the man in the moon, cut his hair? How does the man in the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it. All right. Morning Magic Stocks with your host, Brody. I want to thank each of you folks for tuning in to check out the channel this morning. Up until halfway past the hour, we really enjoyed it this week. It's Yabba Dabba 2 time. It's Friday. Bring your friends to Magic. Bring them over to Brody's. Hit the button, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. Thanks to Benson, Coach, DJ Longhair, Dual Brain, Ed, all the friends, Richie Dubs, fans of Magic the Gathering who tune in and check out this game, this game tracking, gameplay, tongue-tied video. Gaming Bob, probably see you online this weekend. And everybody else tuning in on the juice.